Alright. Talamander Talk 7. I know, I got a bit of a scruff, need a shave. That's on me. What to talk about? A lot of exciting stuff. I've been having a really good mindset about me doing new things. As in, something that I really admire is people who have a very poetic way of speaking. Like Peter Drury, when the World Cup final. I think it was France. Yes, France versus Argentina. And he said something about Messi and him finally chasing, but it was really poetic and strong, and I love that type of sort of speech. So I'm starting to write poems, just little knickknacks here and there, nothing too crazy, but I'm my headspace wasn't even oh, they have to be good now. I'm because if I do it every single day for the next 6 months, eventually they're gonna start to get decent, right? It's not about right now, it's just about the repetition, So yeah, that's a funny little thing I'm doing. I think I'm learning the scales and the guitar as well. I'm going from me just learning music. It's now I'm at a point where I can pick up songs pretty easily and sing them. Any song that has a somewhat intermediate string pattern, even some hammer-ons, I can most likely get it down within 15 minutes, which is really cool. That means I'm at a solid point in my guitar learning career. But I don't really know there's a way that if someone plays in a certain key, you play certain things, and it'll 100% sound good. I don't know how to do that. I want to learn how to do that. I think that'd be really cool. So it's basically I'm learning just the fretboard and stuff like that, and I'm just once a day for 30 minutes, maybe more, maybe less, depending on how I'm feeling that day. I just learn something about the guitar, and something that I really enjoy. So all about progression. There's no I've talked about it, but I feel myself changing as who I am and how I identify myself. Where someone who I used to yearn. I know how I want to take this. Nice. I used to yearn to be normal. You asked high school Tal. I just wanted to be normal. I just wanted to fit in. And now I'm realizing to be successful in the capacity that I want to be successful in, I need to be everything but normal. I need to do the things that people are what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Because it doesn't make sense. It's kind of whenever I was sacrificing my senior year. Well, yeah, I was sacrificing so much for track in high school, and people were I had people be what are you doing? Why are you doing? It's they were it's weird, but it was uncommon for someone to sacrifice that much for track because I had to work out the next morning or stuff like that. But then I got me to the point that I'm at today. So it's just doing things that make me not normal. And it's weird because there's nothing. I've never been a person that's had a lot of friends. Growing up, New Hampshire, didn't have I had a group, but it was in and out. It's one Aiden, Wyatt. I just was I was friends with them, but I was very in and out. I just wasn't I didn't have a core group. I was more on the exterior of this core group. And then when I moved to Albany, Bethlehem, it was really hard for me to make friends. I made a really good friend early on, but that didn't work out in the end. And then I was always just yearning to be a part of a friend group, just a group of guys. I just wanted that for so long, and I've never had it even this day. And through high school, I was a kid who I was friendly with a lot of people. I had a lot of individual friends in different groups, but I didn't have a friend group that I would go and hang out with every single day. Oh, I'm going to hang out with Tyler. Oh, I'm going to hang out with Eric. Oh, I'm going to hang out with Brownie, James. I would be going to hang out with these people who are all in just such different categories of groups. And then when it came to college, yeah, I kind of, as part of this trio, you're known as this trio because it was me and two other distance track guys, but I'm obviously everyone associates me with the distance guy because I'm white and the same length and build as a distance guy. But like that was nice, but then I ended up like not loving one of the kids because funny enough, Kale, this kid Matt, he reminded me so similar of Kale whenever Kale and I hated each other. Like Kale and I, we talked about it during Beach Week this year, how we just like hated each other. We like enemies. And this kid, because I feel like at that point in life, whenever Kale and I didn't love each other, didn't, that's the wrong way. We always loved each other. You guys know what I mean. I just always thought Kale would take stances on stupid opinions for no reason. Given this is like middle school, so who cares? But this kid did the same thing like every single dinner. And obviously when you're in college, not obviously, but when you're in, like, I was having dinners with these 4 guys every single night, right? It was like me, Matt, Justin, Josh. Like it was us 4 every single night. Like that's basically it. Like Justin was like maybe 50% of the time, maybe less, and then like it was basically consistently us 3. But like, so that didn't work out. Whatever. Like he's still a good guy. I hope the absolute best, but it's not like it's not like how I still talk to Josh to this day. I had like a 30-minute conversation with Josh yesterday, and then. Oh, and then Josh transferred going to so that was freshman year. Going into sophomore year, Josh transferred. Yikes. Matt and I weren't really friends because I was planning on transferring, and then my only real option was Penn State, and they weren't offering me money. And shout out Ty. Ty got me in a really good financial headspace about being smart about money, and it just, especially me being a communication major, there's no, like, I don't want to go that much in debt, so didn't. But I came back, got placed in like sophomore housing, when most sophomores at Buffalo, like 80% of them are off campus. No one lives on campus after freshman year. Like everyone lives on campus freshman year, or like 85%, 95% of people. Then after that, everyone just goes off campus. It's a commuter school basically now. I guess, God, Kel's gonna yell at me for the fan. It's in my computer that's going crazy. I just turn it off. I'll just turn it off like that. But it just turned, where was that? Commuter school. So now I had like basically, there it is, Kel. Then I had, it was brand new. So I was going to this place where I was only friends with the kids I was from last year. Josh and Justin both transferred out. Justin went to St. Joe's in Philadelphia. Justin went to Tampa. Okay. And then I got put in this housing, and then there was this kid. Story time. Chris. This kid and I are still friends to this day. I still text him like weekly. Like really good kid. I love this kid. We went to the same high school together. I knew his face. I know who he was in high school. You know those kids you walk around, you see him weekly or whatever you see in a class of 400 in a school of that's 2,000 kids. Like I knew of him. I knew his face, but I didn't know his name. And then I met him because my friend Joe is transferring from SUNY Plattsburgh into Buffalo, and they were wrestling friends. And then me and this kid just became close friends. Like he was one of my closest friends for the last 3 years of Buffalo. And then so he was my main friend in friend group. Sophomore year, not friend group, there's friend. Because I'm very much of an individual guy. I don't know why. Like I've never been the person that I for some reason that, I don't know if it's that I don't fit well with groups, like friend groups. I just never found myself in those situations. And then junior year, very similar. It was basically just like Chris and a couple other exterior people, but like nothing really. So whenever I was with this girl named Katie, so I spent a lot of time with her during that time. And then junior year, I meet Brian and Dan, who for the first time in a really long time, like I was super excited. Like I started going out with them. I always had friends that felt like social friends when I went out. Like Chris didn't really go out, Josh and Matt didn't really go out. Like in my high school friends, that was different. But like going to college, I didn't really feel like I had friends that like went out, and like I enjoyed going out with them. These were the first kids I enjoyed going out with, like going to the bar, like like hang out. Like we would go to the bar a couple hours early before even like, and just like sit and talk. And I loved that. Like I get that are really good times, you know. And then I met and then I started hanging out with them a lot, like every single weekend. But then I got into, that was first semester, and I got into season, and I kind of just stopped going out in general. But then I got so close to them, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna live with them the following year. So we signed on a house, and I can't tell you, we're just going through the timeline. Going into my senior year, I was so excited to move in with these kids. I remember people were like, "Oh, you excited to go back to Buffalo?" I'm like, "Yeah." The first time I ever said yes to that question. So first year that I was going back, and like so excited to go back. Like I was excited to live with them. Like Brian, get out of that a bit. They just were guys who I thought were very similar to me, who I finally thought like matched on my wavelengths on a lot of stuff. So it was just like, I was so excited because I always had so much fun with them. Especially Brian, because Brian was a transfer. He transferred in his junior year. And I was one of the kids who, whenever I saw him walking on, no, he transferred in his sophomore year, sorry. Because he lived with Dan his junior year, and then senior year I lived with him. That's it. He would sit on the dining hall, and like, I'm not normally the person, like, I've really grown into this person of being like, if I don't like seeing someone that, like, he was on the team in dining hall, and I would be like, hey, do you want to sit with us? And it'd be like 50-50 if he would say yes or not. But I never took it. I was like, if you ever want to sit with us, like, let us know. I'd always ask him. This is Chris. Chris is one of the most friendly kids, like really good kid. So he'd always just sit with us, and it would be talking. But it's funny because Brian became one of my closest friends. So lived with them senior year, and then we kind of got a friend group going. But then halfway through the year, for some reason, Dan just started not to like me. For whatever reason, and all four people who watched this, they all knew about it. Like I spoke to like Ty, Mom, Dad, Kale, like they all knew. It was eating me alive. Like I got a lot of problems second semester at Buffalo, and I never knew why, but I always was really close with Brian, you know. But they were, I guess, the things that I've learned from them is like they were kind of degenerates, and I say that with like. I am surprised they were D1 athletes because the amount of times they smoke and drink, like almost every single weekend, they would do what they call is like a 12-pack challenge, where they would put themselves in a garage, just them two, and they would each have a 12-pack case of beer, and they wouldn't allow themselves to leave until they finish it. What? And at first they would like, it's more damn, like they would let me just sit there with them and like hang out because I wouldn't really be a massive drinker. And when I got to the second half of the year, like Dan would just be like, no, you can't do it with us, whatever. But I guess it just tying it all in. I am being much more conscious with who I want to be my friend here. And I'm okay to have a stage of me being lonely. Because I feel like that's whenever you have the most personal growth, where like, yeah, I have teammates. Yeah, I see Autumn once a week, but like, I'm alone a lot. I always found it, I've been that way. And that's, but like now I feel like I'm finally, making light of it instead of me just shoving my face in video games. Like I didn't bring any of my computer down here. The one thing I have is this Lenovo that is a rocket ship that I couldn't even play Minecraft on if I wanted to. So it's just like the changing in my like ideas, where I'm being much more conscious with who I want myself to associate myself with. You know, it would have like, I was talking to Autumn, but this kid that I met, and originally like first couple weeks of this now we're back to here, this semester that I in Charlotte. I met this baseball kid, and I was like, oh, like, this could be my friend, like, you know, and then I realized, like, very quickly, like, yeah, he could be my friend, but I wouldn't want to be, like, a close friend with him, because I feel like we're on different levels of where we want to be at, where, I'm looking for someone who, like, wouldn't judge me about some stuff, but even if they did, I shouldn't care. I don't know. So I'm trying to make sense of it. Like, not that he was a bad guy. It was just literally like I learned so many lessons from the people at Buffalo that I want to be really conscious of who I surround myself with, because I found time and time out I cared more about my friends at Buffalo, with the exception of Chris. Chris and Jaron are the two. Jaron's a teammate and who I got really close with sophomore year, and I talked to him today. But like those two guys would be the only two guys where, like, if I texted them to be at this place at this time, I would bet money that they would be there at that time. Where the rest of my friends at Buffalo, it would be kind of a coin toss. Where they would either be running late, just not do it at all. And I think that's something that really affected me my senior year of college. Whenever, like, I would make plans with Brian and Dan first semester, and then I would be like, all right, you guys ready? And it'd be 1 o'clock. And these kids I call them D1 rotters, because they would just be in their beds, more Brian, be in his bed until like 3 p.m. I'm like, but like, it's funny to think back on it because it tore a hole in me. But I'm being much more conscious with who I want to associate myself moving forward. And maybe it's giving someone who I was like, oh, I want to have cool friends. Like, I don't want to have cool friends. I want to have people that are going to boost me. And I'm kind of at this point where I get to actively choose my friend group, where I get to choose whether to say yes to people hanging out or not, you know? And that's, I think, like a cool thing to do, because I feel like it's a lot of times that you're really redefining yourself in a place, and I have a chance of that right now, and I'm super grateful of that, because I think I'm fine being alone, but also, like, me being able to show my friends is really cool. I don't know if I just said that 3 times or not. That's all right. But then even when it comes to, like, being alone, I'm okay. Like, I'm just gonna create things that take up my time that's not consuming wasteless media. Like, I think that there's just gonna be hopefully a lot of growth in Tal this year, and me figuring out what I want to do and doing things that even friends and family think is dumb, but to me it's what I want to do. So, like, I said it in my last one, like, I want to, like, I don't know if it's a public speaker, like, I just love, like, the feeling I get from music and, like, podcasts and inspirational stuff. Like, I want to have that effect on people, but it's how do I do that? And things, I just gotta put myself out there as a human. Like, it's just, like, I gotta be, like, making myself, like, understand the woes of speech better and become more poetic, where, like, some stuff can deeply resonate with people, and really just start having more conversations with people as a whole, and learning other people's stories. And that's something that I've learned from serving that I really, really enjoy. But yeah, it's a very, very, I was thinking about how it's only September, where since I'm in somewhere new, time is going by very slow for me, because you're somewhere new, everything's new, day-to-day process. I'm still not even in an amazing, like, day-to-day routine. Like, it's vaguely there, it's in and out, but, like, obviously when you have routine, days kind of just slip by. But, like, I feel like when it comes to the way that time feels, like, this time last year, it felt like it was already November. Like, last year flew by, and this year it's really, like, but I love that because I'm experiencing new things. I also feel like myself, like, I'm ideally growing as a human. Like, I hope I am, like, at least making efforts. But yeah, I mean, this is, it's kind of, I kind of thought that was a good speech. I don't know, talk. But yeah, should be, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that'll be it for today. All right.